に使命をかけて燃える街にあとわずか届く叫びを耳にして帰ってきたぞ帰ってきたぞウルトラマン十字を組んで狙った敵は必殺技の贈り物大地を飛んで流星パンチ近くに立ってウルトラチョップ凶悪怪獣倒すため帰ってきたぞ帰ってきたぞウルトラマン
Hello, you are listening to Ultra Q episode 49. My name is Red. I'm joined by Mel.
Somehow I made it here to this week.
Yep, somehow. And I'm also joined by Brad.
No, giant monster, don't spray your white fluid on me. I'm gonna disappear.
That's what happens. Yeah. Alright, coming up this week on Ultraman.
Please don't use the word coming up in full.
Coming up, we got Kishida in a good mood, the trials of Jiro, and cattle-based ghost stories. Before any of that, I brought nothing to show and tell this week. I ain't got shit. I've finished nothing. Next week, I have a promise though. Next week, I will have finished Stormbringer.
Nice.
That book is pretty sick so far. Elric's great. Love him. I would hate to develop a conscience just like towards like Ragnarok. That's like the worst time. But that's it. I don't have nothing. Brad, what's up with you?
I finished the second main heroine's route of Muv Luv, Maya. I think it's a little bit weaker than the childhood friend romance, but I feel like that inherently is easier to write than sudden rich girl who shows up and ruins your life. I think last time I said too, towards the end, this is of that VN market where it's like, oh, we need to force in the eroge scenes or whatever that don't really contribute all that much or whatever. And I think I said for Sumika's, I can't remember if this was in the Dead podcast recording or the one that actually lived. I was like, shockingly for a scene like that, Sumika's wasn't the worst thing I've written or I've read in my life. Maya's extremely is, oh, haha, we decide to get married. Uh-oh, we crashed through a roof. Oh, there's a bed here. Haha, what if we got on the bed? And I'm like, what are we doing? This is stupid.
Classic stuff.
Yeah, there's a initial D guy gets to help you crash a wedding, which rules. It's a good time. Excited to read more Muv Luv.
Nice.
But yeah, the only other thing I have is, actually speaking of Muv Luv, how we talked about how, you shouldn't change for another person who you're interested in.
Within reason, but yes.
So unrelated, last week I went on a date, and I also opened up my copy of Ring Fit Adventure. No. I haven't actually started, but I'm probably not seeing that person anymore, just because it was it was all right, but it wasn't anything special. I've been going up and down with my spurts of exercise and fitness, and I'm like, what if I actually use this game to do exercises that I bought forever ago and left in the package?
As far as I can tell, the reason that Ring Fit exists is less for exercise and more to get the purpose is to get VTubers to be jumping up and down.
Well, I do stream. No, I'm never streaming myself playing Ring Fit Adventure. That's not happening. But the honest answer is that it's fucking winter, and because climate's in a not a great place right now. This is maybe the February I've gone jogging the most in my life, and by the most I mean more than 0 times, because there's barely been any fucking snow, and it keeps hitting like 40 degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius. I'm sorry, but it's it's a little bit above the freezing point, is what I'll say. Enough to go running in. But
No,
now it's...
I typed in 40 degrees Celsius like that would convert. 4. It is 4 degrees Celsius. That is quite cold.
Yeah, but it's warm enough to run in.
Yes.
And then it got cold again. We got more snow suddenly, and I'm like, oh, I miss going outside, and I don't want to just, like, stop. So I'm like, fuck it, I need to find something indoors, and okay. My apartment place, 2 buildings down, does have, like, a gym thing, but you need to get, like, buzzed in, and I don't want to walk outside if it's, like, that cold anyways. So I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do Ring Fit. Probably just a less smart idea, but, I'm lazy, so. That's all I had this week.
I mean, to have fun. Ring Fit, the whole thing around Ring Fit of being like there are like bosses is like I occasionally glance at it and just go, what the hell is this video game? But it sounds interesting. Anyway.
Yeah.
Mel, do you have anything?
To be honest, not really. I didn't really have much this week. It was a busy week.
That is okay.
I forgot to mention last week that I finished The Tombs of Adawan, which was cool.
Yo, that's a fucking great book.
It is a good book.
That's, yeah.
Pretty cool, good vibes. Earthsea, pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Go read the book. It's short enough, I guess.
Yeah, the great thing about those books is they're fucking tiny. They're really quick. And
that's
also,
what I shell by genre is like, hey, read it all in a week. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
2 weeks, but still.
I read the first 3 and then stalled on reading Tahanu. It would not be that much of an issue to reread those and then read Tahanu. I should do that at some point in my life. Those are good books. All right.
Also, I don't have anything for this now, but I have homework for next week, and that King Oger ends next week, so I need to finish it.
Good luck. Good luck with King Oger.
I'm further behind than I was with Precure, so it'll be more of a uphill battle.
It'll be a sprint.
I got to get ready for the next season. Boon Boomjer.
Yeah, Boon Boomjer with they're all, the most Victory Gundam posting Sentai season that I've ever seen.
In what sense?
They all got the wheel faces.
Oh.
That's it. That's all I got.
You know what? That's pretty good. The names in those characters are ridiculous.
What kind of names are we talking?
Okay, so let's look it up. So, if it wasn't clear, it is to the audience, it is a car themed season.
You know what? I had kind of guessed.
The Red Ranger's called Taya Hando.
Okay.
As in tire handle.
Yes.
And blue is Ishiro meter.
Okay.
Pink is mirror shift.
This is like how a mutual friend of ours recently was complaining about the main character of Do It Yourself being called a name that sounds like Do It Yourself or something.
I mean, she is right in that they make the same joke like 3 times in the first 3 episodes.
I see.
It would be funny if they never drew attention to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Black Ranger is called Joe Axel, and the Orange Ranger is called Genba Break. So yeah, that's the level of names we're talking about here.
Joe Axel. This is fantastic. Good luck to Boom Boomja. I support you and your weird antics and your terrible looking masks.
They're actually good because they're bad.
Yes. This is how it works. All right. Well, that was very listener. You might have noticed that was a very quick whip through. You see, our recording situation is a little different this week.
Yeah, we're doing podcasts done quick this week.
Yeah, my parents are visiting, which means I was like, hey, can I leave? I'm going to leave for a few hours. And they're like, okay, cool.
Mel had to do the parent skip.
And yes. So now I'm just on campus somewhere.
All right. Well, it's been so long since we've had this. We are like 12 minutes in. We're getting to Ultraman. Let's talk about episode 28 of Return of Ultraman.
I need to go see how long it took for us to get to like actually an episode in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah, that will be interesting. Episode 28, Ultra Special Operation. Is that the title you two have?
Operation Ultra Special Attack.
Fuck you. Operation Ultra Special Attack. Okay. I'm gonna be skimming over some individual character moments between Go and Kishida I'm not saying we shouldn't talk about them, but feel free to interject or save it for after, because there are just too many to just include each individually in the summary. This is a Go Kishida episode. The boys. The smog is thick over Tokyo as Go and Ken test run Ken's custom spoiler. Why is this spoiler relevant? It kind of isn't. Typhoons keep appearing
Jiro
and
thinks
going.
it's stupid.
Jiro does think the spoiler's stupid. Typhoons keep appearing and disappearing. A boat gets launched into a mountain village. Matt is pretty sure this sort of thing's not supposed to happen, and Go keeps teasing Kishida about it, saying, oh, you can't measure things with a human ruler. Nature is great, after all. This becomes their running gag throughout the investigation, and it develops into the idea of a new form of nature.
Yeah, just like when Go last week suggested that it wasn't a buzzsaw that cut a statue, but a random vacuum.
I did watch this episode. Oh, this is what Mel meant. I was like, this is just like Go being like, well, maybe it's a natural phenomenon. You don't fucking know. Kishida observes that he can't remember the last time the air in Tokyo was this clear, as the winds have blown away the smog. Someone turned up at the office with a script and was like, you ever argue with someone so much you become bros? And that's this whole episode. The investigation into these strange events continues, and the captain gets a little tired of Go and Kishida mostly having a laugh about it. But suddenly, it is no laughing matter. The cause of the typhoons is the kaiju Varicane, which descends into Tokyo while Go is out on another test drive with Ken and Jiro. Matt are set to launch an attack until the captain stops them. This is the smartest thing this man has ever said. He's like, well, the kaiju isn't doing anything right now, and attacking it might cause it to create a typhoon in the middle of Tokyo. So for now, it's a scouting mission only. They take a bunch of photos and return to plan their operation, and an incredibly funny thing happens. Oka suggests a freezing missile plan that the captain says, that's a great idea. But what if instead of that, we just did anesthetic like we always do? And then and then acts as though we're using Oka's idea.
I'll let her have this, I guess.
Yeah. She's like, she nods and smiles like she's been given credit. And I'm like, has she been?
I was like, this is some deep social commentary happening here for workplace politics.
Absolutely. Mid-operation, Kishida questions the order. What if this is just a new type of nature, like Go said? After all, it has cleared the skies of Tokyo. Somewhere in a dark room, Ide smiles. The captain insists on the attack, and it immediately goes bad. The anesthetic doesn't work, and Varicane starts up the typhoon. Go, who is at the base during this operation, watching monitors and launching missiles with the captain, realizes this is a job for Ultraman and sneaks off to transform. He beats Varricane in a sick fight in the middle of a typhoon, rain lashing down, the wind whipping parts of buildings across the screen, shit rocks, and Ultraman wins not by killing Varricane, but by launching it into space. Which gives me, I think, the crucial clue as to who this mystery writer is.
Yo!
We'll get to it. When the captain congratulates the team, he also asks where Go went in the middle of the operation. And Go says, to pray to God. And Ueno has a good laugh at him, and Kishida's like, do you really believe in, like, power of nature? Whatever. Meanwhile, the smog has returned to Tokyo, and Kishida's like, one problem ends and a new one begins. And Go's like, but this one is not the problem. This is not the fault of nature this time. The end. I don't know when Kishida and Go became all-time bros, but I guess they did.
I like how they just their relationship became like still arguing, but they're making fun of each other now, and
Yes.
so it's like venomous.
Yes. Yes.
It's because Go has the tenure now. He's allowed to hang.
Enemies to frenemies. It's
Yeah.
like they just it's good. I like this as like a vision of what they are like now that they're actually working together well, now that they're friends, which is like they're still bickering, but it's I like the idea that they bicker now so much that it's annoying to other people and they're the only ones enjoying it.
It is good.
If that's not a dynamic, I don't know what is.
Oh yeah, it's great. I think
It's so good that Kishida's like, it could be. Go could be right. It could be another form of nature.
Yeah.
He's like, stop being like Go, jeez.
When my favorite, there are like two moments that stand out. One is when they almost hit a plane head on in like their initial investigation, and Kishida turns to Go and is like, if we'd hit that, our budget would have been fucked.
Yes.
And it's like, I think you would be fucked first, mate.
Immediate first response to that was, Matt's budget would be cut so hard, and it's like, okay.
And then the other one, which is during like a nighttime flight with Oka on board, Kishida and Go are mouthing off about something, and then the captain's voice comes over the radio and admonishes them, and Kishida's like, Oka, could you turn the radio off?
I think there was a good. Let me see if I can find it. I remember there was one where like, after Kishida says the joke about maybe it is a new form of nature, it gets told off.
Oh, he does like a great
this
face.
Yeah, like he said, I found it.
It is a great face.
This face is so good.
This is a great photo.
This is perfect podcasting because we're all laughing at a photo people can't necessarily see. But I really must insist, you should go check the Ultra Q account and see this face. It's perfect. All right. Yeah. So the other stuff this episode is obviously this is an environmental episode. This is and I want to make a note of something briefly, and then I think because this is going to be an interesting episode for this. This is not a space kaiju. I don't think.
No.
This is nature. This is what they're talking about. They're like, this is Earth trying to fix itself. This is essentially doing like, we're touching on like Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind stuff here.
Yeah.
With the giant monster that seems like big and scary, but is actually, is like part of the fixing the Earth and this episode takes a kind of it's like the cynical view of, well, we'd get rid of it because it's inconvenient. It's big, it's bothersome. Well, the reason that the captain gives to Kishida for why they have to get rid of it is, well, it's just really big and it's in Tokyo.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong too, the typhoon isn't necessarily even from. It's, again, I think it's doing a thing similar to the episode, the weird, insane incel misogyny episode of the kaiju's unique properties aren't necessarily causing the issue so much as how it mixes with, like, isn't it like the power lines and stuff?
Can I just say, in my head, I was thinking, which Jiro episode is he talking about?
Yeah, I was also very confused.
That's very funny.
Do you mean the kidnapping episode, right?
Yes, the kidnapping episode, where it was like the car exhaust mixing with the spores or whatever from that one kaiju caused like the poison.
You said power lines and kidnapping. I got confused about the electric invisible kaiju.
Oh no, this one. Well, because this one the typhoon starts because like it gets like the power lines or whatever get mixed with it, right?
Oh yeah, the kaiju like steps on the power lines and then it gets bothered.
Yes. Okay.
Is that what happens? Okay.
And instead of
the tranquilizer works, but then lands on the power lines. That's the problem.
Oh yes,
yeah.
I had forgotten that.
And instead of being like maybe we should give this kaiju some space, we should get rid of the kaiju.
We gotta go. We gotta nuke it, kill it right now. I think the resolution of this episode being we got rid of the kaiju, and now it's like, the people are being advised to wear masks outside because the smog's back and it sucks. And it's like, yeah. I have a guess at who wrote this episode.
Who wrote this episode, Red?
I'm like 50% sure, so I might sound stupid. But it's when it goes to space. It's the fact that he takes it to space and doesn't destroy it, and I'm like, Jisoji likes that.
Ding, ding, ding.
Thank God.
Was this Jisoji episode?
It was written by Jisoji. It was directed... This is, okay, all of us discussing and chronicling the weird guys have led to this moment. This was directed by known Aum Shinrikyo fan Eizo Yamagiwa and written by Akio Jisoji.
What a combination.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Just a building full of freaks.
Yeah.
Man.
I do want to give special attention to that one wonderful shot of the monster superimposed over the beautiful blue sky just kind of floating there. Mm-hmm. Like a jellyfish in the waves, which is what they constantly say, but this thing is much too big to actually naturally look like that in the show.
Yes. So I didn't talk much about this kaiju, but the design is fun in terms of like the person inside is clearly standing up on both of their feet, but they're just stood in the front two tentacles, and the rest of them are just hanging down from the back or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fun. I think there's got some creative stuff around here, and I like the, as far as like special abilities go, whipping around all the tentacles to make a typhoon is, I think that's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good one. It makes a change from the spray that we've been getting lately. I think there's a little too much spray. Next episode.
Maybe the episode after too.
Yeah.
Maybe the episode. What's the? Oh yes. Yes. The guy likes spray. He likes it. I don't know. Now that I'm saying that out loud, it sounds weird. But it's not weird. It's just his go-to.
I think this is. Did we get any other? I guess actually the other thing that comes to mind when I think about like Earth-based kaiju and them kind of making a statement for this series is that two-parter with the tsunami and the tornadoes. And I guess to an extent, this is kind of like a more intimate version of that arc. Without obviously, I mean, I guess it's very different because we don't have like was it the father and daughter, kind of giving the personal angle to this. So this
We
does
don't have the factory manager telling the army what to do.
yeah. So this does just have a little bit more time to kind of make this more of like a natural disaster thing and kind of talking about like humanity encroaching on the earth, which, obviously this is my shit. But yeah, I like this one. I think the kaiju has a fun design. The banter was good. I admit I don't think I picked up on it as much until you pointed it out. But it is very good this episode. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's a good episode.
I honestly, I don't know if I hadn't have known beforehand how much I would have been able to tell this is a Jisoji one, but you are right. The way that this concludes is a giveaway.
I completely missed it. I'm so bad at this.
It was the so there is an extent to which, we have reasoned that this this is an interesting way to take Go and Kishida. Also, the idea that this could be Jisoji occurred to me because Go and Kishida are behaving like they've never behaved before and being weird and goofy. And I was like, is this like someone new that hasn't written any of these characters before?
That does make sense.
And the fact that it had been said that it's gonna check out who's making the next episode, who wrote the next episode, and I was like, okay,
yeah.
And also like Return of Ultraman, like frequently, as we've said before, just looks like is shot much more impressively. So there's I don't know.
Yeah,
even if it's not Jisoji directing.
Yeah, he's not the director this time, so.
Yeah. Cult man.
I wish I was better at telling who the guys are.
It was a coin flip for me. I was really like, I was genuinely kind of sat here thinking like, if I'm wrong, I'm just cutting this out.
It would be really funny if I was like, no Nagase, no. I wouldn't do that.
Man. Do we have anything more to say about this episode?
Yeah. So similar to, I think what I'm gonna try and do is similar to Brad with the writers and directors. I think I gotta try and mention the kaiju guys.
Oh yeah.
Each time, because I'm starting to feel like it's one, if it's gonna change a lot, it's probably worth noting, and two, it's also like, well, the kaiju is an important part of the episode as well.
Yes.
So we should give due diligence to that side of the show as well.
And this way it means we never forget to talk about the kaiju, which we do sometimes, because I'm sometimes lax in my summary.
And sometimes the kaiju sucks.
I was about to say, especially this series, sometimes the kaiju's not worth talking about.
The kaiju's fucking boring, and I don't remember what it looks like.
But yeah, so this one is again a Yonatani design.
Okay.
But sometimes it's credited to Kamagi erroneously because apparently the backstory is Yonatani was like, I have no idea what I want to do, how to make a hurricane monster, and then Kamagi was like, hey, you could do a jellyfish. And so he went with that. And the suit actor is Tanaka Nobu Toya. Seems to be the case for most of the show. Put a pin in. I'm going to loop back around to this subject a bunch of this episode. So, put a pin in.
Alrighty. Well, in that case, if there's nothing else to say, we can move on to episode 29. Jiro rides the monster. I bet that's not right.
Jiro rides a monster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got the wrong
which,
preposition.
I feel like is a misleading title.
It is a misleading title. I was expecting something different.
I was expecting some yeehawing going on here.
Technically correct, but also.
All right. For this summary, I'm going to need everyone to hang in there. I have done my best. There are 2 threads here, so I'm going to try to minimize how much I hop between the 2. The first thread is the worst day of Jiro's life, and the second is how it's all Go's fault.
So meanwhile, back at the ranch, shit going on this episode.
Yes. Jiro wants to visit his friend Yoshiko, but she's out at the minute, and her dad, a carpenter, says Jiro can wait for her here if he wants. Jiro finds a puzzle box and asks about it. Yoshiko's dad just says, I built that ages ago. I don't remember how to open it. He suggests that Jiro takes it home and sees if he can figure it out. Jiro does just that, but only makes it so far before he has to stop, leaving the box on a table. Yoshiko stops by and demands Jiro give back the box as it's very important to her and the contents are a secret. Jiro's like, oh, all right, no problem. It's right here on this table, but it is not on this table. It's nowhere. It's not anywhere. It's not around here. Yoshiko is big mad about this, and Jiro's very apologetic, but also confused. Where is the box? It's in space. Hideki Go has taken the box to space. He found it on the table, got hooked on trying to open it, and was almost late to the launch for his mission to check the function of a satellite. He then blasted off, and we got to see the camera pan from one viewport to another to reveal Go is trying to open the box while sat at the controls of a spaceship. Go checks the satellite. Everything's normal. But when he returns to his ship, he forgets something. He leaves the fucking box on the satellite. When he gets back to base, he's all like, job done, boss. Everything's good. And Captain Ibuki says, all right, what did you do? See, they're not getting a signal from the satellite anymore. Go heads back up to space several times to search for the satellite to fix his mess. But it's not there. Between launches, he gets a call from Jiro, who's like, you took my fucking box, and now I'm in big trouble because it's not my fucking box, it's Yoshiko's fucking box, and you took it to work for some reason, but I need that box back so I can return it to Yoshiko, otherwise my life is ruined, everyone will hate me, and Go says, Jiro, I'm very busy with a much bigger fuck-up right now, can you call back later? And hangs up. The search for the satellite continues until, weirdly, they pick up its signal in Tokyo. Did it fall out of orbit? Yes, it fell out of orbit. Go and Minami find the satellite in a crater at, like, a construction site or something in Tokyo. Minami peers into a window, looks shocked, and then gets thrown from the satellite as the kaiju, wearing it like a shell, comes alive. Go calls in an attack, airstrike from Matt, but at the last minute, Minami says he saw a child in the satellite. The attack is called off, and on the radio, Go hears the voice of Jiro. Jiro is in the satellite? How? Well, he kept looking for the box, and he found this weird pod with the door open, and he climbed in, and then the door shut, but he found the box, and now he's managed to open it.
That's not entirely what happened.
What?
Jiro was apologizing to Yoshiko, and Yoshiko was being very, very mean, and her parents were like, you aren't being a little too harsh, and she's like, Dad, it's your fault. And if Jiro took the fucking box, and then they accidentally let a bird out, and then Jiro goes to catch the bird.
Oh, Jiro's going to catch the bird. Okay, well, he's okay. Okay. Rewind. Let me revise this. Jiro freed a bird, and then he was looking for the bird, and he found this weird pod with the door open, and he climbed in, and then the door shut, but he found the box, and now he's managed to open it while he's on the radio with Yoshiko. Do not ask how she's on the radio. Who feels bad that her being stern with Jiro caused him to wind up in this mess, and he finds a little shriveled up piece, a bit of flesh inside the box, and he's like, what's this? And Yoshiko's like, that's my umbilical cord. If you keep it, you live longer. Jiro puts it back and shuts the box.
I lost my mind with this happening.
I did too.
I love this. I love this so much. Just getting to the end of this fucking ridiculous travesty of a day and finding the object inside the box and be like, what is it? Oh, it's my umbilical cord. And it's like, oh, okay. Let me put it back.
Some one-tin soldier shit and turn it over. Oh, it's an umbilical cord. Can you imagine if Go in Space just, like, finished it and...
So what's like,
this? Oh. All his coworkers are like, what was in it? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it, actually.
Matt launch a rescue operation. They distract the kaiju while Go is... Excuse me. They distract the kaiju while Go is lowered onto the top hatch of the satellite. He gets inside, and now he has to get this hermit crab-themed kaiju to ditch its shell by shooting at it from the inside. He opens a lower hatch and starts blasting. The kaiju leaves its shell. Go carries Jiro to safety and turns into Ultraman. The fight is on. This kaiju has another spray, which I'm like, alright, too much spray, less of it. But otherwise, the fight is cool. And Ultraman goes Redman mode as he uses a spear to skewer the kaiju and keep it in place. And then he sets it on fire and we watch it burn to death.
This is ridiculous.
Ultraman is a deeply violent figure.
It's so fucked up. It shows like the close up of the kaiju's face as it's burning and dead.
And he's like struggling a little bit as he's skewered to the fucking ground as Ultraman readies the spacium. Wait, no, is it... Does he spacium beam it, or do they drop a napalm bomb? I think they drop the napalm bomb on it, right?
It might be a combo attack. Oh, it's both. Okay, it's both.
Everyone is complicit in this.
This is
skewered kaiju burning alive.
This is an atrocity. This is I really want to know the effect that Ultraman had on the minds of Japanese children. Truly, this is like itchy and scratchy, but this is like so comically over the top.
They leave the immolated corpse standing upright, still skewered for all of the people of Tokyo to see.
And then of course next episode people will think kaiju aren't real.
Yep. Yeah, they will.
Listen, those people are in the boonies.
Those guys have been lost
in academia.
Those people have been lost in the mountains for years. In the hospital afterwards, Jiro gets asked what's in the box, and he says it's a secret. Shares a knowing look with Yoshiko, and then Go and Ken fight over the box as they both want to go at opening. The end. I really like this episode.
Same.
I do too.
Wild.
What happened to the bird though?
The bird's just fucking gone. The bird is free.
As it should be. All's right with the world. I think this is one of the wilder and shockingly better episodes of this show. I adore this thing. There's so much going on. The thing with the box is just absolutely ridiculous. I think it's neat how they managed to fit in Jiro to like be imperiled this episode, while then also still giving him some stuff to do. My one complaint, I think it would, if he had more stable friends instead of us inventing new friends for him every time he needs to have like a hangout session in an episode. I think this would have hit a little bit harder, but I understand that's not easy. Like, especially for like children, it's like, you know, they have school, they got other shit they need to be doing, so
you can't really hire
actors.
like
you can't really hire like the side characters who are like on call to be around sometimes, but not all the time, as like a non-full commitment thing. That's obviously a lot trickier.
You could just do what they did in Blazer and just do a new kid to play the same role every time.
People are gonna I can't wait for the day someone thinks you're meaning this unironically and writes in a correction.
What do you mean? I do mean this unironically.
Live your truth. Live your truth.
I do, every day. It's beautiful.
I think the reveal of what is in the box is fucking hilarious. It's the part where she's like, it's the one connection I have to my mother or something. Or it's like the first connection I had to my mother, and I'm just like, okay, that's all right.
I was
sure.
Well, you see, the first tool people made are sticks, and the second was the ropes. 'Cause the ropes brought people closer.
So true.
So true.
Jiro on the beach.
I just love how this is like a big secret for Yoshiko, and it's fucking nothing for Jiro. And he gets into the box and it's like, well, this was a fucking waste of time. What a wild day.
My reaction would be like, what? Why would you do this?
Yeah. Like, I wondered almost, I'm like, is there a cultural thing here I'm missing?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
But I don't know.
I mean, I assume it's like a
this is a thing.
Okay, cool.
Apparently, in a lot of Japanese hospitals, it's a common policy of specially cutting a piece off after the birth to give to mothers as a keepsake.
Nice.
So this is a cultural thing. Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay.
Oh, and specifically, it's often kept in a special wooden box.
Okay.
It is funny that the dad just forgot what was in it.
Yeah, he doesn't know. One, he doesn't know how to get in it. Two, he forgot what's in it. It's just like, dude. All right. Well, I don't know. It's like the kaiju is completely irrelevant to the box. The kaiju is just it's just here.
One could say that the kaiju is a box, and getting inside of it to get what's inside is also part of Go's problem.
No, I don't think that's true.
He does James Bond, like, shoot his way into the kaiju while scaling the side of it, and it's cool as shit. I love that sequence a lot.
Did I forget the part where, like, Jiro was removed from the space thing?
He goes removed from the space thing?
But Jiro is, like, taken out, because I feel like when I remember the episode I was watching, I was like, oh, did Go just transform in front of Jiro?
So this occurred to me while I was watching the episode, and I had to skip back. And I know there is, like, a very, very brief moment where it shows him putting Jiro down somewhere else, I think. But I did have to rewind to find it. I was like, he just transformed. Did he not?
No one will believe you anyways, kid.
Oh my god. Go. Poor Jiro.
I like the kaiju action a lot this episode. As funny as it is that Jiro gets trapped inside this thing or whatever, and then just like, this is perfect time to do my little puzzle box.
He was like, you know what, I'm gonna die anyway, I might as well break my promise to my friend.
Yeah. The scenes where he's being thrown around, I think, are actually doing a pretty good job of, like, showing his distress without, like, putting anything that putting a child actor through anything actually traumatizing. He's just getting thrown around a little bit. And they do the camera work to make it good. Yeah. I think having to get the actual, like, hermit crab kaiju out from underneath the space station is fun. Something I really like, and I genuinely wish more Ultraman episodes specifically found reasons to do this, is that this is something Ultraman himself could not have done alone, and I don't mean he needs the rest of the attack team necessarily. I mean, Go has to go in and then cause a disruption from the inside while small, shooting through portholes and shit. And this is why freaks out the kaiju.
This is why Ultra 7 would beat Ultraman in a fight.
Yes. Exactly, because he can go small.
He can go small. He's got that versatility.
And I do wish they leaned into that more. Like, the fact that Ultraman always seems to have to be big, like, just as a default of his state of being. Sometimes that means that the human side needs to do some things that you can't necessarily do as a big giant of light. I think they did that really well here, and it was cool seeing both Go and Ultraman kind of tag team this thing, and then the rest of the attack team coming in for the fucking assist on the goddamn monster hate crime that happens to execute this thing.
Marvel versus Capcom.
Yes.
Well, like, the thing that fucked with me is that, like, he's, like, grappling with it, and then suddenly Matt comes in, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna, like, bomb it with napalm. I'm like, isn't Ultraman right there? What are you doing?
Isn't Tokyo right there?
That too.
Yes, do not napalm bomb Tokyo, please. You live there. Oh, I guess they live at the bottom. They live in Tokyo Bay.
I forgot that there's stations underwater.
They don't bring it up often enough. Underwater bases are cool.
I was about to say, I feel like that's a thing that requires a little more budget than they're willing to,
They could just reuse the same shot they had before.
Probably.
They could.
Yeah. But then it'd become obvious.
Also, launches from underwater bases are very cool.
They are. Everything should be like the opening of Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. Solids 1 and 2.
Yeah, probably. I haven't played either. This is a massive gap in my knowledge.
Wait, what the fuck?
I know.
I've only played one. I played that
Red.
I played at the end of 2022, so it was like pretty recent for me too.
Damn.
I have,
I'll play the VR missions.
I got Dug Station, so anytime.
Wait, Red, have you played any Metal Gear?
No.
Oh, I want to force you to go through Metal Gear with me so bad right now.
You don't need to force me. I'll do it.
Yo! Let's go. Okay, hold
I mean,
on.
maybe not 4. Maybe I'll just watch the Pomu stream for that one.
There you go.
Yeah, I need to do 2 and 3. I want to do Ghost Babel too.
Damn. Wow.
Peace Walker.
I think this is a top 5 Return of Ultraman episode.
Absolutely. Absolute. Just go. Also, we've got the epitome of Go fucking up and overcorrecting. Because he's overcorrecting so hard that he's fucking up more. Because he's like, Jiro, I really can't deal with this whole box thing right now that is actually it's like important to the I really must insist I have to go searching in space for a satellite that is not there. It's not up there.
Can you imagine talking to a kid? The kid's like, hey, where'd you take my toy? And be like, sorry, kid, it's in space.
I took it to space. The thing is, he doesn't tell Jiro that. Jiro says, you took my box, and goes like, I took your box? Did I do that? I don't think I did that.
I do like the last bit at the end where like Ken and Go are fighting over who gets to open the box.
Yes.
That escalates so fast too. Because
great.
it's just like, oh, let me look at it. Like, I look at it. And then fucking like Ken is like, what the fuck, dude?
They're fantastic. All right. Who made this episode?
Okay, so directed once again by Eizo Yamagiwa. The writer, actually, I didn't put this together till right now, but it makes a lot of sense. This was written by Shigemitsu Taguchi, who you may remember for writing the Time Bomb episode, I want to say. Let me just scroll past here. Yes, the Monster Time Bomb, where we saw all the visions of the future. Great episode. And then also wrote Revenge of the Monster Boy. About the Elidortus, which nobody believes in, and the most unhinged child of all time.
Yes.
Oh yeah. What are the previous episodes did he do?
I don't think he did anything
Okay.
prior to. I could be mistaken, but I think Taguchi was first on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Kaiju deeds.
Yeah, and also Kaiju details again. Same as before. Yonatani did this one, and played by Toya.
Cool. This is a fun kaiju. Go ahead.
I looked at Taguchi. Yeah, this is his first time on for writing, but his thing beforehand was that he was an assistant director and a member of the special effects team. So he's a special effects guy that then became a writer.
Okay. I like this kaiju just because of like it spends so much of the episode under the shell, and it's got the milk spray thing. I really don't have any other words to describe it because it's not like a web like in the past. It's just I realize that we actually get actual milk spray in the next episode, but it's still milk spray.
Yeah.
All right.
I think hermit crab is a cool idea.
Hermit crabs are so cool.
Yeah.
Hermit crabs are cool. I like that they have to get new shells.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a whole deal.
Yeah. They're fun. They're great. All right. Do we have anything more about episode 29? Other than this is a space monster. This is a space kaiju. The last episode was not a space kaiju. This is a space kaiju. The next episode kaiju, third type of kaiju.
Yes.
All right.
Curse kaiju.
I mean,
Episode.
technically more. It's technically still not a space kaiju.
It's not a space kaiju, but it's a ghost type.
Yeah.
Episode 30.
You need the fucking what the fuck's the thing in Pokemon Gen 1 you need? It's like a telescope to see the ghosts. Yeah, you need the scope. The silk scope.
It's funny how that stopped being a thing immediately.
Yeah.
Now you can
They're
just
like,
find
this
those.
is gonna be too fucking annoying. Just get Duskull. Who cares? Shoutouts to Duskull.
It's funny how it applies to Marowak as well, despite Marowak being a ground type.
Yeah.
Marowak's cool.
All right. Episode 30. Curse of the Bone God Oxter. Is that the title?
The Cursed Bone God Oxter.
Well, all right. That's kind of
I got Cursed Bone Monster. Whatever. Who cares?
Wow. Okay. The first half of this episode does not feature Matt at all. Ken and Jiro...
It does feature misogyny.
Yes. After last episode, where which is the first and last time we will feel sympathy for Jiro, Ken and
he
Jiro...
got bold after that, I think.
Yeah, he was like, I'm good with women now. Ken and Jiro are out hiking in the woods and they're truly lost, and Jiro says, good thing Aki isn't here, you know how women are. And Ken's like, no I don't, Jiro, but ha ha ha, you kids and your sexism. They find...
Okay, I have the actual quote here because it was so out of pocket. I posted in the group chat. Not this group chat, another group chat.
Yeah, I posted it on Twitter too. Because it's also pretty out of pocket.
So Jiro says, it's a good thing we left Aki behind. Ken says, why is that? And then Jiro responds, because women get in the way at times like this.
Nice.
Jesus Christ, Jiro.
Thank you, Jiro. You're really...
I love how we started talking
kid.
like, it is literally just Jiro, and then the show's like, you are all so correct. It is just Jiro.
To quote a tweet, a message Brad said in the group chat a while ago, the children yearn for massage.
Yes.
They apparently do. It's real weird.
Jiro is the kid from the sometime what if the kid just has bad vibes tweet. It's like this is no one's fault. This is just Jiro sucks.
See, like here's the thing, Jiro. It's probably a tie between Jiro and Kishida, because I like Kishida a lot too. But Jiro makes watching the show week to week such a joy in like a weird roundabout way, because it's like, what the fuck is this kid gonna say next?
He's just spouting the wildest shit.
And I never would have expected that at the start.
Like, this kid is like a more misogynist than the adults, and that's crazy.
Well, it's because we're born sexist and learn and unlearn it. That's how it works. That's Return of Ultraman's theory. Now, where was I? Here we are. They find an old abandoned shrine in a state of disuse, and they find inside a painting of a cow. And they're like, why is there a painting of a cow in the shrine?
Ken briefly thinks maybe it's a Hindu temple.
Yes, he does briefly think that. An old man turns up and asks if they're lost. They ask if they... I can't remember if he offers or they ask, but, basically, at the end of the day, he's like, you can stay the night with me, because you're not making it back to any towns or cities before dark. On the way back, they pick up a couple of pith helmet guys. Now, fellas, pith helmets are already embarrassing, but wearing pith helmets to go hiking in your own country is maybe the most bizarre use of them I've ever seen.
Now, I feel like there could be commentary here about, like, the metropole of Japan colonizing the rural areas.
We can lean into that.
This is the same era that they're like flooding rural villages for dam projects.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
We can lean into that whether or not the episode knows it.
Yeah,
I don't think the episode knows it, but I'm choosing to think that it's not far of a reach.
Mm-hmm.
There is precedent of it.
They do talk about this area like it's like truly remote territory.
Yeah, I feel like I have to do more research on like how the relationship between like Japan's national identity and like the rural identity. But there's you always have different stories of like how different cultural practices can be in like the rural areas and like how that's perceived or treated.
The one, and maybe I'm stepping ahead a little bit too far here, but the one thing that like twists, like kind of twists this for me, where I'm like, I feel like this episode has a very, by extension of how it treats the monster, a very this is the land that time moved beyond and we need to leave in the past vibe. That maybe colors the whole treatment of the rural communities in a different light for me now that you reference that, actually.
I will definitely say that I don't think the episode thinks favorably of these professors and what they're going to do.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. At night, there are weird rumblings, and Jiro wonders if it's a kaiju. And I think it's here where the pith helmet guys are like, there's no such thing. And I have serious questions for them about how long they have been stuck in these woods.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, if I didn't already make a counter which is not getting used, I'd want to go back and make a counter for how many times people think kaiju aren't real in this show, or kaiju are here every day.
Truly, it's there's a new monster every week. That's what this show is. How, do you just not ever look outside? Anyway,
I think the funny thing is, it feels like it's adults who are. I don't know. I feel like I want to keep track of the writers, but it feels like it's adults who are consistently doubting that kaiju are real, despite them destroying entire blocks of Tokyo. And then meanwhile, the children are really up to date on who all the kaiju are because they're buying the merchandise of the kaiju who are destroying Tokyo.
Remember that episode of Ultraman where they said one of the major 3 reasons to visit Japan was to see Ultraman himself in action?
God, that's great. To be honest,
I feel like this is a level of disinformation that is only matched to their current era with the internet.
All right. Jiro thinks the sounds, these like rumbling sounds, could be like a cow mooing, but louder and deeper. And the old man says, well, this is a valley full of old bones that look like cows behind the shrine. Cow bones this deep in the mountains? The pith helmet guys have to see this. They head out there and find bones, and the pith helmet guys reckon they're water buffalo. This is quite a find. They pick out bones to take back to Tokyo to prove that there was water here and there were water buffalo here with it. And the old man doesn't think that's a good idea. See, these bones might be the object of worship for that shrine. It would be bad luck. It might lead to a curse. The pith helmet guys are like, well, we don't believe in... First of all, we don't believe in kaiju. So naturally, we don't believe in any of that shit. They snag some bones and they head off.
I was also worth noting that, like, Ken tries to be reasonable. It's like, oh, listen, it's not good to do this. Yeah,
regardless of whether you believe that there is going to be a curse or not, you probably shouldn't fuck with this.
And then they just like do it anyway, and also just throw a cigarette on the ground because why not?
Yeah.
Yes. The old man confides in Ken and Jiro. His own son and his wife disappeared after they took some bones from that pile. No one knows what happened to them. A cow kaiju emerges from the marsh and sprays milk on the pith helmet guys that disintegrates them, leaving only their clothes. So I guess that's what happened to this old man's son. Near the shrine, a weird tongue comes out of a well and grabs the old man and drags him down to his doom. Ken and Jiro call in Matt.
This sequence is incredible. With
yes.
The tongue green screen and then the miniature guy being pulled into the well.
It's fantastic. It is the most we are doing special effects in the 70s. Matt arrives on the scene and investigates. They find the well and theorize it's connected with the nearby marsh. Perhaps that's where the kaiju lives. Thanks to some standard leaps of logic, Matt finds saliva and with Jiro and Ken's help come to the conclusion, oh, that's cow drool, which means that the kaiju used to be a water buffalo. In fact, it was the only one to survive a geological change that caused the herd to die out, and it became a monster, and now it protects the bones of its kin. The kaiju attacks again, and Matt can't do anything. Go turns into Ultraman by diving into the water. the fight is long and arduous, and Ultraman winds up underwater for a solid chunk of it, as the narrator tells us, uh-oh, he's a fire type, he doesn't like this.
Yeah.
Then Ultraman does what Ultraman does best. He cheats, he drains the water from the marsh, and takes the opportunity to kill the kaiju, returning this spirit to the rest of its dead herd. In the shrine...
Specifically, the narrator says, after spending so much time in the water, it learned to breathe underwater instead, and now it can't breathe.
Because, that's what whales do.
That's what... Yes. In the shrine, the painting breaks and the building collapses as all the water from the marsh rains back down from the sky, burying the bones of the kaiju.
Okay. You finish the summary, I have some thoughts.
Matt and Ko gathers at the edge of the water, and Jiro says he feels bad for this kaiju. Go arrives to pay his respects, throwing flowers into the water. The end.
This episode is so fucking unhinged. So, okay, the voice of God tells this creature, you are an anomaly for surviving past the point you should have in the history of this world. It's time for you to also die. And then cheats by removing its habitat that it has learned to adapt to.
Lol.
And then kills it. What's going on here?
It's unhinged hearing Ultraman speak to the kaiju and says, "You're gonna die now, rip." What was the line?
I don't have it.
It's something like, it's time for you to join your kin or return to your kin or something like that.
Damn, bro.
It is we don't get Ultraman speaking much, and it's just okay. Damn.
Yeah, it stands out. And I know that they're trying to be like, oh, it was so sad, it's so lonely. Thank God it's dead now. This doesn't work for me on so many levels. The first is that, there doesn't seem to have been any human intervention that caused this to be like this. It just happened to survive, and I guess because it was the one that got lucky, it, over time, transformed and mutated into this weird fucked up monster.
I don't have a problem with that, because, sometimes ghost shit happens.
Yeah. See,
Also, it is weird that, Matt doesn't need to kill this guy. And the only reason they do is because Ken and Jiro are here. And also they know exist, and they are the monster attack team, which means they have to attack monsters.
This is the bit that's missing from this episode, is a reason to... you could argue that the reason to kill this kaiju is that it is in in the idea that a ghost haunting a house is not at rest, is not at peace.
Yeah.
That's I think the intention is, I would say. Otherwise, it is truly just you just killed a completely innocent creature for no reason.
I agree. I think that's what they're trying to go for, but it just feels like the way they explain everything when they actually get to it, because they need to do the sciencey part of the kaiju lore bullshit, it just feels like, oh, this one didn't die along with all the rest. But then the 1-2 punch for me, because that I could have dealt with it or whatever. But then the fucking thing of, it's trying to beat Ultraman by keeping him underwater, which it's learned to adapt to and become it's living in unison with the earth or whatever. And then Ultraman just decides, I'm going to change the dynamics of your habitat so that you will also too die, is just the most... This is...
Ripped all those fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just... And then you see it, along with the bones of all of its kin, wash away and get further buried into the depths of the earth to be forgotten. It's... The vibes just felt extremely off to me. For an episode, I feel set up pitch-wise, I think I would have been all for this, but the execution left a lot for me personally. I had some issues with this one.
Yeah, I guess trying to frame the cursed cow kaiju as like just an ordinary animal also makes it a bit weird. And also, there isn't really enough justification for them to eliminate it, other than I guess just like a natural, quote unquote natural, like they're just default position when they find a kaiju, they have to get rid of it.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I do think that if they had leaned into the ghost thing, this would probably work better.
Yeah,
so... and the thing is, it feels like the first half, and then like the very end, lean into that more, but when Matt's mostly doing this stuff, it feels more like they don't believe in ghosts.
Because they're a science team. They're the science patrol, but like 2 reworks removed.
Once again, the ancient feud of the science fiction guys and the horror guys.
Yeah, maybe I can reconcile this if I'm like, it is a ghost thing, but the science guys try and read too much into the science stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think what also complicates this for me is the little bit at the end where it's like, oh, it must be lonely being the last of your kind, which, like, I think if they leaned into the ghost thing, I wouldn't have included a line like that. I don't know. I guess sometimes ghost stuff does do, like, oh, it's lonely because you don't pass beyond the veil, but...
Yeah.
I would have doubled down on the ghost haunting the graveyard thing more than...
I can certainly see the criticism coming from the angle of like, well, it has adapted to its new natural habitat. It's like it is not, if it's not a ghost, then it is a thing that is part of nature. This is part of this habitat.
Yes.
Yeah, but also I feel like, I'm not religious, but my impression of Shintoism is that like spirits are part of nature as well.
Yes.
But also maybe there's like also difference between like a cursed spirit and like a different kind of spirit.
I guess it is funny that the episode kind of starts on the position of like Ken is like, you probably shouldn't fuck with these bones, guys. Like Ken's not coming out here and worshipping like an ancient cow, but he's also like, all right, fellas, put the pith helmet thing aside for a second. You can't be taking these. You have to leave them where they are. This is the culture.
Yeah. I do wish I had like more context just of like the relationship between like Japan's metropole and its rural population, how colonial it is, and also just like, I don't know much about Shintoism either, so I can only go off of like basic understandings that come from exposure to other Japanese media, and that isn't always like the best, most complete representation of it.
Yes.
So
yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Wow.
I do feel like I like this episode overall. Like, I do think Brian's criticisms are very fair and reasonable. But I do like the vibes, especially in like the first half. I think Ultraman is unhinged in how he treats the cow, and also decides he can't win underwater, and then cheats by destroying the water. But also I do think that's pretty fun. I do think the underwater set piece, because we haven't had a lot of those, is really good. There's a lot of like good shots of just like when Jiro and Ken in the first half, of just like the opening bit feels like a found footage thing of from Ken's perspective.
The atmosphere of the first half of this episode is fantastic.
And
it's very good.
I really like the shot of like, I forget what it was, but like it's like Ken and Jiro, and I think the guy is not dead yet, but like the sky darkens a bit and they turn around, and it's cool when the kaiju like emerges from the...
Yes.
Like the guy's praying and like the sun is still out, and then like Ken and Jiro basically go, I got a bad feeling about this, and like it gets cloudy and then the kaiju emerges from the water, and it's really cool.
Yeah, Oxter's first appearance is pretty great.
The tongue out of the well is pretty goofy, but
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
But it is goofy. But yeah, I did think it was like pretty cool and evocative. Just like, it is a bit goofy that they kill the kaiju and then go oh, woe is you, who we had to kill for reasons.
Classic Ultraman behavior.
But also, yeah, it's kind of just like how these teams are, and it is cool. Just like the marsh is restored by like it just starts raining and flooding back down again, and I think this is cool. And
I do think the bones falling into the earth, like with the little mudslide that happens at the end, is a good shot.
Yeah, I like
good.
I do like the the shrine collapsing and bones collapsing into landslide and the oxter bones being washed away as like the lake refills back up.
More evidence in this episode that one lady was definitely a ghost. Is the painting destruction means that the ghost has been
also more evidence that Baron Spider was a ghost.
Yes. True.
Incidentally, also an episode with the bottomless swamp.
Yeah.
Except as we see in this episode, there is in fact a bottom to the swamp, and Ultraman reveals it.
If Ultraman was in Baron Spider, he'd just take the water out of the bottomless swamp, point at the bottom, and go, skill issue.
Yeah.
I do like also just like, oh yeah, it rains back down, so the lake isn't just permanently dry.
Yes.
Ultraman destroyed the ecosystem.
Yes.
No, he just needed to temporarily disrupt it to make sure that one thing went extinct.
Yeah. It's that's what Ultraman do.
I think that's like part of my hang up here is that like Ultraman doesn't talk that often, so when he does talk it, it's like I as the voice of God need you to know that part of nature is the species need to come and go, and it's well past your time to go, buddy. So I'm gonna just fuck with things until you finally die.
Ultraman using the Ultraman using Cessna voice. You are the cursed object that must be cut from this world.
Yep.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of this one. I do wish they leaned into the ghost shit more though, and I do actually hope that we get more stuff that's like kind of like, oh, there's a curse, or like, this. I mean, honestly, even like kind of like even stuff like Sibozu, which like isn't super like, not really ghosty, but like the whole monster graveyard stuff and like kind of leading in on that. That is fun. Also, I like seeing some kaiju bones. It's a vibe.
So this week we got 3 episodes that went in 3 different directions of weird that different kaiju can go. Because we got a kaiju representing like nature and like kind of nature's will, or like almost like the will of the planet, kind of. And then we've got space kaiju, just kaiju from space. And then we've got ghost haunting cursed kaiju. And I've suddenly this show just had, like, previously it's just been like, oh, it's fun that space kaiju are like so weird and unique, but what we have here is like this return to Earth now with having had some practice at designing kaiju and being like, well, how are Earth kaiju fun?
I think
weird?
they just find they just they learned how to design a kaiju by getting a different guy to do it.
I have a
yes. They got a guy who wasn't a weird loser to do it.
I have a fun note, speaking of this, actually, because this was written by Toshihiro Ishido, who, again, is the guy who was kind of buddy-buddy with, like, Oshima and Jisoji and all them. Mm-hmm. And then also was the guy who wrote that one fucking memoir that I think the title is Unhinged.
Oh, yes.
And kind of hilarious, of a bigoted old man's life on the silver screen. He is the guy who also wrote episode 20, The Monster is a Shooting Star in Space. And then also episode 23, Spit Out the Stars, Dark Monster. The other 2, like, notable, like, oh, this is the kaiju from space, that's weird episodes. Mm-hmm. And I found, just, like, again, looking at stuff or whatever, this wasn't covered on any of his particular pages, but I just noticed this on the actual, like, Japanese wiki article for Return of Ultraman, is that, Ishido was mostly in charge of the aliens in space episodes. Like, that was his thing. He was that guy. But it's also noted that he was good at writing stories with folktale-like qualities with strong regional or indigenous character. Which I feel like is what kind of shines through in this episode. Like, okay, yeah, this is a little more folktale-y. I wish it leaned more into that, and I feel like I liked the episode a lot more then.
Yeah, I feel like I'd like to know more about that stuff in, like, relation to Japanese history and culture. Because I feel like it'd be good for, like, one, in general interest, but also just, like, context for this stuff.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like, there's definitely stuff there that's worth looking into and that people could, like, point to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we even kind of ran into that with, like, when we watched Varan, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Also, there's another case where it's like, oh yeah, this is like a rural village, and like the scientists from Tokyo speak in like a patronizing like tone. It's almost like not dissimilar from like how would they speak with like Pacific Islanders? I guess, you know, maybe it's a bit different just because like these people are at least ostensibly Japanese, but I don't know how much that factors into it.
Yeah, if we think about the places where they've worn pith helmets before, it's like Pacific Islands, it's wherever they got the Miraganda plant,
Also, Pacific Islands.
and Scotland. That one when that guy went doing dinosaur research, he
most
went to
untamed of all
Scotland.
the lands.
I forget. Did the scientists have pith helmets in Varan? I forget.
Oh, I don't know.
Speaking to Brad,
I was gonna say, if that's an episode, I don't remember. It's probably a movie.
I do not remember.
I
I don't remember a lot about that movie, to be completely honest.
Yeah, me either. I feel like they didn't have the helmets, but they got like everything else. I could be wrong about that though.
Well, it's also because if I recall, I mean, it's mostly just people that stumble their way there trying to get somewhere else too, correct? Like, I don't think they're looking for it necessarily. I could be wrong.
But they're still in Japan.
Yeah.
So did we talk about the kaiju this episode?
No.
Okay.
So Oxter was designed by Akihiko Iguchi. He designed the Matt aircraft so far. This is his first kaiju design for the show, though.
He did a good job for a first time, actually. Yeah. I think the monster design's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's cool because we don't honestly get a lot of mammalian kaiju, which is why we have the Kilton in the show going, oh yeah, it's a reptile. Kaiju are reptiles. Because someone likes to make a lot of dinosaurs.
Like, buffalo are just fucking cool.
Buffalo are cool.
Also, this guy will go on to design a lot of kaiju for like the last bit of the show. And also in the immediate future of Super Rad production stuff. He'll do a lot of designs for Ultraman Ace and Ultraman Taro, and also contemporaneous shows like Mirror Man and Jump Orb Ace.
That's cool.
And also, he is credited with the design of a little-known kaiju from a certain Toho kaiju movie called Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, where he designed Mechagodzilla.
Yo!
Well, that's a pretty big deal.
Shout-outs to this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And this, again, suit actor Takanobu Toya.
Nice.
I just realized I forgot to talk about the new director for this episode.
Oh, go ahead. Talk about the new director.
Oh, it's very disappointing. This guy does not have his own Wikipedia article as far as I can fucking tell. The only thing I could really find about him is that I believe he is a dude that wasn't actually from Subaraya. He was like a dude from TBS that then got assigned to the... Yeah. He was from TBS. He got assigned to help out on the show. Fun fact actually is on the list of directors on the on like the staff section of the Japanese wiki, pretty much everyone listed here has a blue link, and then like he just does not.
Rip.
Just
Nice.
a very yeoman, like doing TV directing shit and then getting assigned places, it seems.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know, he did a decent job. This episode is like, you know, for like the like friction in there between like the creature and the ghost story stuff. This episode looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we go on, I just want to ask, did anyone watch the next episode preview?
No.
Oh.
Did you read? If Brad didn't, we can leave it as we can.
I possibly did, but I can't remember.
If he okay, we'll leave it for next week.
Okay.
Okay.
I saw something. I saw something next week. Just like, oh, interesting. So this is where we're going.
The next episode's title is extremely funny, just because I could see it from the title. Should I just say the title? Or should I leave
Go for it.
In between devil and angel, ...
I could be your devil. Or your angel.
Or your angle.
Me when I'm Dante from DMC, The Devil Might Cry.
Yep.
By Ninja Theory.
Yeah. Alright, well, do we have anything more to say about this episode? That sounds like a no.
No.
Nope. I think we picked this bones pretty clean.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Well done.
I'll be the resident hater for this episode. This is my cross to bear.
Resident.
I'm not even actually a hater. I think it's a 4 out of 10, honestly.
Resident.
A mild dislike. It left a bad taste in my mouth.
Resident hater. Anyway.
I wish Jiro got better in the hospital, so go press the button.
Oh. We have yet to be able to press that button again.
This keeps happening. I
It
need
does.
to come up with these bits sooner.
Next season you're gonna be on the ball.
Yeah.
Alright, well, in that case, do we have any emails?
Yeah, I was letting you do the color timers first, though.
Oh, yes, color time. Yes, I forgot the order. Color timers.
Episode 28, 2 minutes, 46 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 29, 2 minutes, 14 seconds.
Now, I think this next one is long.
No, really? Episode 30, 3 minutes, 59 seconds.
Nice. It's almost a minute over.
Almost a whole minute.
Yeah.
That's
also,
how hard he cheated.
In light of my earlier new initiatives, I'm introducing a temporary segment after the color timers, where we're going back to revisit some of the old kaiju.
Are we? Oh, nice.
Oh, because hey, we didn't do the due diligence for those kaiju at the time, so we may as well.
Might as well.
Go back. I don't know if I'm gonna do the Brad thing and actually give a bio on one of these guys, but also I figured this was not the week to do it anyway, so I never. Anyway, so for the first segment, going back to the first 3 episodes of Ultra Q. We got Gomez. The designer was Yasuyuki Inoue, who apparently was a kaiju designer for Toho. And suit actor was Haro Nakajima. Then you have Litra, who I don't think is a suit and is a puppet. Designed by, again, Yasuyuki Inoue. Next we got Goro, who is basically just a modified King Kong suit. So no designer was given on the Japanese Wiki page.
Okay.
But the suit actor was Yukio Fukudome. And finally, Nemagon, I think, might also be a puppet and not a suit. Because they just give us the sculptor was Akira Sasaki.
Man, I love Namagon. Fucking stupid looking thing.
Yeah.
Big eyes.
We will never know how that situation got resolved.
They threw lots of salt on it.
Yeah. Remember, Ishino Ya's assistant to go, like...
Yeah,
make a bunch of salt water.
Very calmly, just like, you're gonna need to make, like, loads of salt water.
Call every restaurant in the area.
Just realized, I don't think Ishino had an assistant in a future episode.
Oh, damn, he died doing that. He gave his life
to
save the Earth. Ichinotani never remembered his name.
Galaxy with you.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys want me to do some brief bios next week, but I'll...
Sure. That sounds like
if they got stuff.
Yeah. I probably won't be as in depth, but you know.
The Galaxy with you comment is like, what did he like put loads of salt water in like the back of a truck and then drive it at the kaiju?
Yes.
Hell yeah. What a king. I bet he looked out
while an old man was on
He looked out
An
of the
old man
window.
was on top.
He looked out of the window at the last second and said, "You're too late," as he crashed.
Everyone, please watch. It's a good time.
Do I have to cut that out now? It's like,
Oh,
I'm just.
I feel like they would know.
I
I feel like they might know.
We just have to. I'm just gonna beep out. Just because
Damn.
I'm just. Ever since it came to my attention that people who are still going through Gundam might listen to us, I have been like,
Oh shit!
I've been like, whoa, hang on.
Yeah, and despite the fact that we plug our show in the Emerald Mapping Discord, not everyone is a GGP listener.
No,
See, I'm just wondering the universe where people know Galaxy. But yeah,
they
I
won't.
don't know how that works.
They won't know. They won't know Galaxy with you. Is the thing.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
No one fucking knows. No one knows about that.
Yeah.
That's for that real ones only.
Yeah, that's true.
Now that we're talking about Gundam, this episode we're done. Emails.
Go to the email. Sixer says another nothing week. They're beating themselves up for continuing to send emails despite having nothing interesting to say.
Cydrixer, take a week off. You're fine. You're all right.
They say he says maybe I crave interaction. But I bet you all got a kick about having Jisoji back. Although you don't get your hopes up too high, he will not be doing anything for the series for some time.
Rip.
Sorry to let you guys down.
I fucking want to watch that Ultra Q movie he directed so goddamn bad you do not understand.
Unfortunately, it'll be like in 2026.
I have spoiled myself on a writer-director combo that involves Jisoji on one of the more recent Ultra Q things. That has me like, I'm just like, I have to see that. It's gonna be a while.
We might be thinking of the same thing.
Anyway,
yeah.
Any more from Cydrixer?
Yeah, he says, also in case this wasn't brought up in episode 29. Oh, episode 29 was released in theaters alongside Godzilla vs. Gigan at the 1972 Toho Champion Festival alongside episode 1 of Mirror Man, which was being produced at the same time.
I would love to see episode 29 in a cinema. That's ridiculous.
That would be very fun.
Give Jisoji the... No, wait, not Jisoji.
Not Jisoji.
Jisoji was 28, but it is funny.
Yeah.
That episode be in the theaters. Also, Ishiro Honda involved with the first episodes of Mirror Man, which makes sense.
That does make sense as they're kind of concurrent-ish.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mirror Man, I think, starts like halfway through Return of Ultraman's run and ends halfway through Ace's run.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Cool.
And then, first with regards to last week's stuff, firstly, Zagreus, upon reflection, looks like he'd fit right in with a cast of the Rubba-Dubas. Stop doing this to me.
The fucking what?
I don't know what the fuck that is. Does Fred know what this is?
Rubba-Dubba.
Okay, we're 0 for 3 on the Rubba-Dubas. Okay.
What's the Rubba-Dubas? 7 Anthropo... When was this?
Oh, so 7 guys.
Shut the fuck up. This was on CBBS in 2002 to 2005. Am I too old to be watching CBBS? Am I already on CBBC? Am I even in Britain at this time? I'm not in Britain.
Also, just missed Dubai.
So this missed me.
Damn.
That's Red Law for another time. It explains one tiny quirk of my accent that is relevant to neither of you because you would not recognize it. So that's a teaser for whenever I feel like bringing that up in the future.
Second, I don't care what the lost recording was like. The one we got was better. Thank you. Appreciate the
Yeah,
confidence.
so true. Honestly, I do unironically think that was true.
I mean, we got the heartbeat reference.
The heartbeat took me the fuck out. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh yeah, murder mysteries. Like I was like, oh, maybe more. Damn, yeah, getting into the heartbeat out of nowhere.
Hold on, let me look for a second. Because I remember messaging you guys, hey, my parents are here, and they immediately started watching a British murder mystery show.
What did they watch?
I'm gonna mess up the pronunciation of this. DL and Pasco.
No, I think that's right. Yes.
Okay.
I know of that one. Never watched it.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, they're in deep.
Never expect to have so much unintentional influence on this process that can bring about the use of the fucking heartbeat theme that I haven't heard in close to a decade to use as a scene tradition. Thank you, searching so hard.
Man. Yeah.
I'm just gonna put more of my mom lore on the display. I think my mom could be described charitably as
a teaboo. Yeah.
She'll be like, she'll be watching these murder mystery shows, and like she'll have see like the towns and countrysides of the UK, and just be like, "Oh man, it looks so pretty. I bet it must be nice to live there." And
no,
I'm like,
this is like that one tweet I saw from a Japanese person who was like on exchange, and they were leaving Britain, and they had posted a picture from outside of their window at like just like red brick houses, and was just like, oh, I'm gonna miss this view. And I was looking at it like, what? Oh, really?
This person had like the exact opposite view of Anon.
Yes. And Anon had now here's the thing. Anon had a miserable experience in Britain because she immediately went to a private school and started interacting with kids who wanted to get an MBA.
Yeah.
Which is 10
like
times
bullied,
worse than
right?
10 times worse than standard. Anon would, I mean, she gets like she has to leave. She has to leave immediately. That is also the scene. That is also the scene where two girls speak like bad English to each other, and then a third Japanese actor pipes in with just like full glottal stop. Anyone got my book? And I was like, I can't take this. This is why that's a real accent. I have to go.
Yeah. So. Email brings me a great amount of pleasure to hear you three go on about random shit unrelated to the actual topic of the show, so I'll have to find more ways to get you off track in the future.
We don't need help. You'll be fine. We'll be fine. Don't worry.
Just like, right now, when we talk about Anon.
Yeah.
We're coming up on the actual interesting stuff. I have things to say about in a week or two, so stay tuned. We're getting to what the kids call the good shit.
Nice.
I feel like the last 2 weeks have been the good shit. We're in it. Yeah.
If it gets better, let me tell you, this is a pretty good show.
This is a pretty fucking good show.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, finish off.
Wait. Actually, finish what you were going to say.
Oh, I was going to say, Anon is always relevant because she's literally me.
Oh, okay.
She's just like me for real.
Here's a bold prediction we have for next week.
Mm-hmm.
So Jiro predicts episode 33 is going to be in at least one of our three's top 3 episodes of the show thus far next week.
Only one of us. Is it
at least?
Is it a specific? Oh, it's okay. I see. All right. Well, thank you as always, Cydrexer.
Things to look forward to.
And yeah, I think that's a podcast.
Yeah.
Still,
also, one more thing I just want to say.
Go for it.
So. Next weekend, probably, the Blazer movie is dropping. We will see if it's actually available for us and a way to watch it.
Yes.
But also, probably we won't record an episode of it next week.
Do they do the thing for those they do for some of like the Gundam things where they sell the Blu-ray at the theater after people are done watching it? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but it's probably going to be on like some streaming service, but it might be like an exclusive one, like the Super Raya exclusive one.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they've really pushed it for foreign audiences. this time.
Yeah.
So
I feel like to be
go ahead.
I feel like to be safe, maybe we're not going to promise to rock order for next week.
Yeah.
But
we'll leave ourselves a week at least.
We'll have at least a week, so probably the week after. But yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll be out by next weekend, and then we'll give ourselves a week to watch it, and then we'll have a new skipping the queue, the last one for Blazer.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sick. Plugs. If you want to follow the show, you can do so at ultra_q. That is at ultra_QUEUE. I am also on Twitter. I'm at gender_redacted. Mel.
Hi, you can follow me at Dear Crowns on the various sites, specifically Twitter and Blue Sky, because my co-host is fucking dead.
Damn.
I logged in like the other day. I was like, yeah, this site has some cool stuff on it, but not enough for me to like stay. It's just not like my brain is not wired
Rip.
in the Tumblr format like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I would even though I like ostensibly would value some of the stuff that's on co-hosts being different. But yeah, I'm on the sites. We have email ultraqpod@gmail.com. Send in emails like Jigsaw. Be a good guest. Wait, not guest, listener. We don't have any guests yet.
Damn.
Maybe one day we'll have guests. But won't be next week. But yeah, also UltraQ Fund for coffee. It's Coffee Link.
Mm-hmm.
One day we'll get subs. Not like it would be nice.
Yeah.
I fumbled that. Brad, just go. Just take me out of this.
You can find me on the internet in a lot of places. I'm on Twitter at B_invoked. That's BE_INVOKED. You can also find me on my YouTube channel, Canopus Invoke. That's CANOPUS Invoke. And I've been playing a lot of fighting games, and also I feel like this week, Mel, if you have the time, we should get back to Tales of the Abyss.
Well, now my parents won't be around, so it'll be good.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure how long they're staying, so.
They're leaving tomorrow.
I want to do some more fighting game stuff. I finished editing the rest of my Elden Ring footage that I have, and
Have you finished the game?
Okay, listen. No.
Have you finished the game?
No.
Brad. So,
here's the thing. There's a lot of things coming out soon, and I need to start getting some of the shit I've had tucked away in my backlog for a while done.
Everything came out at once, and then Helldivers 2 came out and was apparently really good. And I'm like, why is every video game out now? What's happening?
Yeah, and then we got fucking what I'm trying to deal with is we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth out at the end of this month, and then following that, like a month later, is fucking Dragon's Dogma 2. So, a lot of RPGs on the horizon. I'm like, I need to finish Elden Ring.
The one thing we lost from the episode, it's almost worrying to bring it up because I said out loud that I was considering touching Final Fantasy XI in April with a bunch of other people, and then the podcast erased itself and was like, you have another chance. You have another chance to not say that.
The voice of God said no.
But I'm still thinking about
Ultraman lifts the servers of Final Fantasy XI into space and says, no.
It's just Dragon's Dogma comes out and then 10 days later it's April. Which is alarming. I'm not beating Dragon's Dogma in 10 days. I have a job.
Well, have you considered not having a job? No.
Unfortunately,
don't quit your job
right
for
now.
Dragon's Dogma 2.
I would not. I'm not quitting my job for Dragon's Dogma 2. As much as Dragon's Dogma 2 keeps begging me to.
I am debating taking a day of vacation for Rebirth, but I don't know.
Oh, that classic early 20s behavior.
Oh, yeah.
I
Early 20s.
I say that like I
Early 20s.
I say that like I wouldn't.
I don't think I've ever taken off for a video game before.
Damn.
I might have. I've taken off for stupider shit, though, absolutely, but, that's just life. Sometimes you need it. Actually, my bosses yelled at me for not taking enough vacation time.
Bosses do that.
Yeah.
Bosses do that when they know I take most of my holiday in the winter when I'm not dying. And yet they're like, you should take some, like, now. And I'm like, I'm going to save it to fucking winter when we're not doing anything and I'm not dying and I can go outside.
Actually, my funny story, I have a 3-day weekend because it's a holiday in Canada, and my bosses also yelled at me because I forgot. Americans have less holidays on the calendar than the Canadian workers do, because of course. So we have one free floating holiday we can take during a Canadian holiday to, like, make things more even. They're still not even. And I guess I forgot to take mine last year. My bosses are like, dude, what the fuck? You just completely forgot to take a day off. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, fuck it. I'll do it for, I think it's Family Day tomorrow, Mel. Is that right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
At the time of recording, not listening.
Family Day.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Okay.
It's an Ontario and Alberta holiday.
It sounds fake. It sounds like a holiday that, like, a fucking, like, the Ewoks would celebrate.
I think they just made it to, like, I think it's pretty recent in Ontario.
I'm sorry to all Albertans and Ontarians.
I think they
just called Ewoks by proxy.
I think they just made it because they're like, well, we need a new holiday and we're gonna put it in February. That's literally it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like, no one's actually. I mean, I guess, like, some people are like, well, I'll use this opportunity to, like, hang out with my family because it's, like, a day off, but also it's, like, or a long weekend, but it's also, like, it's not like a celebration kind of thing.
You know who's not celebrating Family Day? Gento Haru.
Yep, damn straight. He's celebrating it at work. With his found family.
Oh...
The writing was on the wall for Star Wars the day Filoni canonized Life Day. We should have seen what was coming.
Did he do that?
Yeah, he did. It was like in the first episode of The Mandalorian.
Of course.
Oh.
It was? Oh,
yeah.
I don't fucking care enough.
Anyway.
I watched 2 seasons of that. Holy shit, that second season sucks.
Anyway, we are now talking about fucking bullshit. So
yeah, we need to stop.
We're gonna wrap up. We will see you all next week for 3 more episodes of The Return of Ultraman, and a more normal recording situation, so we won't be blitzing through shit. I say that as though we didn't manage an hour and 45 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
You just talk more about the actual episode somehow.
We did. I mean, there was stuff. These episodes got meat.
These were juicy.
There was a lot going on. The summary for that second episode was, I was writing that, I was like, this is too long. This is too long, but it's what happens. All right. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Goodbye.
Later.
を壊すぞ地響き立てて吠える怪獣大怪獣ふわっと開いた口から炎辺り一面焼け野原間違ってない死が迫る帰ってきたぞ帰ってきたぞ帰ってきたぞウルトラマンウルトラマンウルトラマン十字を組んで狙った敵は必殺技の贈り物大地を飛んで消 キック一発近くに寄ってウルトラチョップ凶悪怪獣倒すため帰ってきたぞ帰ってきたぞ帰ってきたぞウルトラマンウルトラマンウルトラマン戦い進んで見上げる空に一つ輝く僕の星遠く離れて地球に一人あれがふるさとだ正義と平和を守るため帰ってきたぞ帰ってきたぞ帰ってきたぞウルトラマンウルト